Hello and welcome to Real Estate 360. This is Steve Conley, hashtag unemployable, thank God, and Jason Myles.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your man, Jason O. Myles, hashtag the real estate trainer. How has your week in real estate been, Steve? How's it been going?
You know, it's like every week there's a little bit of up and a little bit of down, but the ups are all fantastic and the downs, guess what? They're fantastic too, because they're just opportunities to flip into something, even better. So that's how my week's been going. How about yours?
It's just been fantastic. Um, things are beginning to pick up. I can't complain about that. That's good. I mean, things have been slow for us, just like they've been slow for everyone else. But, we've been working, we've kept things going in an effort to make sure that when things do pick up, as they're starting to pick up now, we won't be behind the curve.
That's right. And, we are coming out of the COVID-19 experience, if you will. I don't think we should call it a pandemic. I mean, looking back, I'm thinking that people are going to say this is really just, a big bad flu based on the numbers. But that's my opinion, and you guys don't care about that. So what you do care about is the real estate. And so now this whole situation has come along with slowing everything down, and it's given at least me an opportunity to kind of pull some things together, get better organized, clean up some real estate projects. One of those in particular was actually had two, pardon me, two that were stalled. And so one of them, I got with one of my lenders and we went and assessed it, and guess what? We're finishing it up next week. It's going to be about 90% done at the end of this week.
Yeah. I mean, this was definitely the time to kind of pick up the pieces of anything that was kind of left behind or a little bit slow, because we could give attention to things we couldn't necessarily or didn't necessarily give attention to in the past. So cleaning those things up, great. I mean, we had a really, really good conversation before the show with our producers about, what this market was looking like in terms of the retail side, because it was just an open door for us to get a few things done, get it on the retail side in terms of a sale, and just be done with it.
Right. But what we should do is kind of review the state of the real estate, or the state of the union as it relates to real estate. And, Clark Howard was mentioning the other day, he has seen national statistics that real estate values and prices have gone up in the last several months.
Right.
And that primarily is simply a function of supply and demand.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were very nervous about that. And if we watch the Chicken Little Network, those are the things that we hear. Real estate's falling, it's going through the ground. And you know what? There is a sector of real estate that's falling, tremendously, but that is commercial real estate and commercial retail real estate more specifically, because, stores, restaurants, various businesses, they just can't open. And if they can open and they're willing to open, they just can't really thrive. They're not thriving. Only a select few businesses are actually thriving. So we're watching an enormous amount of retail space, foreclose. We're watching, evictions, because it just has to be that way. It's just going to be that way until people are comfortable with going back out to spend money at restaurants and things of that nature again. But as it relates to what we're doing,
Yeah.
there has been no shortage of deals.
There really hasn't. And, you said something to me about a week ago, and you said, well, this is really not bad. And I said, you're right. It's not bad for us, but you know why? And you said, no, why? I said, well, we're not in the restaurant business.
That's right.
Now, I was talking to my brother last night, and he's he has a commercial real estate background. He used to build banks and shopping centers and that sort of thing. And I said, hey, whoever comes up with the best thing to do with all this commercial spaces coming up is going to make a ton of money. And I said, I have no idea. I mean, we were talking about the Mall of America or something. Maybe that was you and me, Myles. I said, that's huge space. And I said, that is going to make one fantastic mini storage facility. It's going to be opulent and massive. But, I don't know if that's realistic, of course. I'm just joking around. But, he said something that made a lot of sense. He said, a lot of that commercial is going to just revert to residential. I said, well, that makes a lot of sense. Tear it down and build, townhouses or condos there, or these, pods.
Well, I'd love to just live in a restaurant, that'd be cool for me.
Say that again?
I said, I'd love to just live in a restaurant. That'd be cool for me.
I know you would.
Move a couple couches and TVs in there, man. I'm relaxed. I'm good.
Well, you'd be in the kitchen about half the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'd never. Hey, we'd have built-in a space to have presentations.
There you go. That's right.
So, but that's a thing for us, Steve. I look at what we've been going through. I look at what's coming up, the kinds of deals that we're going to be looking at. We talked about the Carve example before. These are situations that are going to present themselves right now that I don't think people are truly paying attention to. I just
don't either. I agree.
Out on it.
You know what's missing?
What's that?
I'm glad you asked me. What's missing really is the leverage on the seller side. Pardon me, I got this frog I can't get rid of. This leverage on the seller side to take action. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm looking at some of the people that we're dealing with, some of the people that we're training and coaching. I'd say, with the exception of just a couple, everyone has this inability to just push through whatever the situation is. If that's just making an offer, or just looking at it differently, or because the conversations that I'm getting with the people that we're working with in this time is, I don't know how I should proceed. They want this. This is the situation. Well, listen, you got to put your offer in the way you want to do it. You have to. And you have to be aggressive, like you were talking about, in your ability to be able to close, right?
That's right. And lay it out there for the seller. Now, the leverage thing that I was just mentioning is because of the court systems being shut down, some tenants are not paying. Some mortgage companies are not foreclosing because they can't. I mean, they can't go file their paperwork. So that's the leverage that's missing. But guess what? This is the state of the union as it relates to real estate at this moment. But what's going to happen next month? I'm thinking by, June. I know we're going to be opened up here in the Atlanta and Georgia area with the court systems, and into July, and it's going to take a little bit of time to process all that. But guess what? That's the missing leverage that needs to happen to get people to really move on their real estate. So I see an avalanche of opportunity.
You're 1,000% correct, and people are just not preparing themselves for that. I mean, we've been lining up money for the past 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Okay. We have made sure that, financially speaking, in terms of acquisitions, that we are prepared for that. And we've been telling people, get ready, get ready, get ready. This is what you need to do to get the money. Here's where you need to look. If you guys need help finding money for acquisition, call us. Reach us right there at therealestate360show.com. Connect with us in any way possible, because we've already got it lined up. Affordable money. We're looking at local lenders that are charging people 16, 19% interest right now. They want 30% down right now. I mean, it's just astronomical. That's just the ones that are continuing to do business, right? You know, and that's fine. But everybody doesn't have 30% of acquisition to put down. You know,
Now, you're talking, just for clarity, you're not talking about a retail buyer. You're talking about the side that we're on, which is the investor lending side.
oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah,
But even on the retail side, I mean, there's still beautiful conventional loans out there. You know, they're 3% down. I mean, our wonderful agent Sammy Hadid just put a property under contract and negotiated a deal where the sellers are selling the property. They're giving all closing costs, you know, to the property, to the sale, contributing all closing costs to the sale, and the buyer is only putting down 3%.
yeah. And
So
that's a qualified mortgage, I would imagine, where they,
that's conventional. It's
yeah.
conventional. But the point is, they are out there. You know, they are out there. They're still out there, regardless of what some of these people are listening to and seeing on television right now. You
Mhm.
know, business is being conducted. Do not believe the hype. You know, it's not all that bad out there. It's not what they tell you. All you have to do is walk outside, right?
Yeah, there you go. Get
That's
your head out of your ABC, CBS, NBC, CLN, the Chicken Little Network. Get your head out of it.
That's right. You don't have to go hang out at the beach with 20,000 people 6 inches apart from one another. You don't have to do that, and I wouldn't recommend that. But do get out there and do see things. Get off your block. You know, I mean, for a little while we were just driving in circles around 285 because there was nothing else to do. But you don't have to do that anymore. Understand that things are moving. Things are in action. They've always been in action through this entire process. It's just maybe not the action you're familiar with. So get familiar with how to maneuver in difficult times, because that's where you get paid. That's where you make money. So
Maybe
Steve,
after this little break, we can talk about what actions people should take,
absolutely.
and how to move forward.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español, llámanos, call us today.
And we are back, the Real Estate 360 show. And hey, at the last end of the last segment, we were talking about actionable steps. And you know what, Jason? Oh, Myles, you are hashtag the real estate trainer. So why don't you tell people what the actionable steps are? Train them right now.
That's right. So let me just say something about that for a second, Steve. Actionable steps. Action is getting the information that you need to get so you can be successful in your real estate trading. You know, and I say real estate trading as wholesalers, right? So, because to me, trading, I mean, wholesaling is trading. It's not technically investing, right? We're trading paper. I mean, it's investing in a way, but you're trading, you know, we're trading. And if you want to get the information on how to do that effectively, you need to go to realestate360show.com and listen. For all the people that have been supporting us with the podcast, I want to thank you. I am so very thankful for your listenership, for you sharing, for you downloading, for you commenting, for you engaging with us. You know, please continue to do that. Again, does not matter what platform you're listening to, where you listen to podcasts, that is, you know, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all those places and more. Real Estate 360 Show. Thank you. Download it, share it, subscribe, engage, continue to do that. And by all means, make sure you check out what's going on at the realestate360show.com, www.realestate360show.com.
Now, when they get to that website, what would you recommend that they do?
Listen, if you haven't done any real estate or very little real estate, or you've done a bunch of real estate and you just want to organize maybe a little bit differently, not better, but differently, download the 4-week action plan. The 4-week action plan is going to tell you everything you need to do step by step, week by week, for you to get your business organized, to make sure that people know what it is you're doing, having the right tools of the trade, all those great things, getting out there, making offers. Obviously, it's not going to tell you immediately what you need to do to evaluate a property, but it is going to tell you everything you need to do as it relates to putting your team together, again, getting your business situated, putting you on the right track that you need to be on to achieve success. As Steve says, if you want to make the money, you got to do what, Steve?
Well, you have to put yourself on the track,
right,
where the money train is. So if you're standing on the tracks, then the money train can actually hit you.
Right.
But if you're not on the tracks, you can't get hit by the money train.
Right. We've got a graphic around here somewhere. I've got to find it. But yeah, the money train, man. You want to get hit by the money train, you got to get on the tracks. Period.
But it's really about mindset, and it's about belief.com. And the belief is
shameless plug.
Yes. The belief, though, is what really is the deciding factor. Once you believe it and once you see it, bam. And so all this stuff that we do, the training, the 4-week action plan, this show, the podcast, the seminars that we do, everything that we do is really kind of geared toward one thing. And that's helping you and helping the people that we are working with have a belief that this is real, it works, it actually is true. Now, once that happens, then you, if you're the one that has the belief, are unstoppable.
Yeah.
Absolutely unstoppable.
Steve, I had a conversation with a young lady that we're doing business with in one of our other business opportunities. And she was telling me yesterday that her friends and a certain segment of her family were telling her, you can't do that. That's impossible. There's no way that you're going to be able to do that. 1, because she was a female. 2, because of her age. She was only 20 at the time when she decided that she wanted to do real estate. 20.
Yeah. So
exactly. But she made the decision. She made the choice that now she's nearly 24, and she's like 3 or 4 months away from being 24 years old. So she's been doing real estate now for nearly 4 years. She's added to her business endeavors with a second business, which is what we do, another one of our businesses. And she talked to me about how she was able to internalize that and push through it, because that's ultimately what it takes, right? You want to have yourself around like-minded individuals. I couldn't stress that enough. But internally, you've got to push through that, because let's just look at this for a second, Steve. How many stories have we heard? How many people have we heard tell us the exact same story? Whether it was they had these negative beliefs about investing in real estate, or the people around them, their friends and family, were just spewing the negativity on them. Oh, you need money for that. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, it's a scam. Oh, it's this. Listen, if it is a scam, if real estate investing is a scam, how is it that you're renting that house or that apartment? Are those scammers renting them to you?
Oh, no.
If it's a scam, how is it that that builder or that renovator just sold you that house that you just fell in love with? Is that a scam? Are you getting a bank loan to give it to scammers? No. It's real estate investing. It doesn't matter. And people talk about these multi-level marketing companies even, right? It's a pyramid scheme. Well, tell me what organization isn't. Isn't there always just one guy at the top and a million people at the bottom doing the footwork?
Yeah,
okay, it's not a scam. It's what you are accustomed to. And when I say what you're accustomed to, I mean the thinking that you have personally subscribed to. If you believe everything is a scam, you will work your whole life for scammers.
Before the show, I was writing some notes about the mindset situation, and you really kind of just gave some great graphic examples of that, of what I had written down here, which is you should view everything from a disassociative position. In other words, yes, you're here, but imagine that you're up here looking down on a bigger picture so that you can see, and people can only associate what they know. And if they're saying, oh, that's a scam, or you shouldn't do that, that's only their opinion. It's kind of like what I said earlier about my idea of the virus. It's just my opinion, and you guys don't care about that. But when you listen to your friends and family and you take on that opinion and their opinion, then you need to stop and disassociate yourself and come up here. To give you an example, it's like an airline pilot who all of a sudden has lost all of his engines, and his plane is going down, right? So if you're sitting there flying this plane and you're associating, okay, I've lost all my engine with death, I'm going to die. Guess what? You're in panic mode and you're going down with the plane, and everybody in the back is going to die right along with you. But if you just disassociate yourself and say, hey, okay, we got a situation here, right? This plane will glide. Let's glide it, and let's find a place to get it on the ground as safely as possible. At least now there's a chance, of survival. But thank goodness, we're not talking life and death, with real estate investing. We're just talking, hey, opportunity and being in a position up here to look at all of the opportunity. It's all mindset. It's all belief. It's all understanding that everything will work out,
Right. And you don't have to know how. You don't have to know when. You only have to know that it will work out. And that knowing is just an internal belief, right?
Yeah.
Like you say, it's about belief.com.
Yeah, thank you.
But it truly, truly is about belief. If you sit there and worry and worry and worry, oh, what if this doesn't happen? Or what if that happens? Oh my God, you're going to get everything that you're putting out. You're going to get all of the negative that you're putting out, because that's all you're doing. You're putting out negative. Well, what if it does happen? What if you do make $100,000 on that deal? What if you do get the offer accepted that you put in, right? What happens then? Then you make money. Start thinking in the positive. Stop thinking in the negative, because when you think in the negative, you get negative. When you think in the positive, you get positive. You don't have to worry about how you're going to pay your bills. You don't have to worry about where the money is going to come from, because guess what? If you're thinking positively and you're putting action behind it, things just happen to show up.
They do. They really do. And and we're not saying that to you people there listening to the sounds of our voices. We're not saying that we're perfect at this, because we're not. We're just here working on the same thing. And I kind of lost the opportunity of a house purchase over the weekend. So I'm thinking, all right, now what was I thinking internally? Because I didn't get back to them fast enough, and somebody else came in and outbid me or did something. I'm not sure what happened. Now, does that mean I've lost it forever? I don't believe so.
Right.
So I'm going back into my mental ability, and I'm recreating that whole scene within myself. And I see that they are going to be calling me and say, well, we went with these other people. So I don't know what happened. Something didn't work out. They backed out. So we're calling you. Would you come over and let's do the paperwork?
That's right. And, Steve, how many houses have we bought multiple times, bought and sold multiple times?
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
That's the funny thing. You're like, yeah, I bought that house 10 years ago. I bought and sold it 10 years ago.
I can think of quite
I want to recap a couple things when we come back from the break. Is that fair?
That's fair. See you then.
Do you need to sell your house? Well, our company will buy your house. We make the process very fast, very easy, and it's all cash. All you have to do is give us a call today.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833-WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español, llámanos, call us today.
And welcome back, Real Estate 360 Show. Steve Connolly, hashtag unemployable, and
Jason Myles, hashtag the real estate trainer. We're right back at you. And Steve,
yes, sir.
my man's in them. We
and them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's always tomorrow. So you've always got a crew behind you. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
But you know, we talked a couple weeks ago, and we have this whole little training where we talk about the CARV example, the conservative after repair value examples of how you can tackle pretty much any deal based on, you know, its equity position, you know, all this different stuff, right?
Right.
And knowing that we're going to have a lot of foreclosures and evictions coming up, we're going to have a lot of landlords who are just sick and tired. They were on the verge of being sick and tired before Corona, right? And now they're just like, you know what? They're throwing their hands up and they're going to tap out. And there's going to be a ton of non-owner occupied, you know, rental property that is going to be for sale. Whether again, the owner is just sick and tired of it. They don't want to fix it. They've got to evict this person who hasn't been paying for the last 2 or 3 months, or the foreclosures that are inevitable. Okay, there are going to be a lot of banks that are going to work with people now. There's going to be a lot of forbearance programs in play, but there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to be able to, you know, come up with that money, and they're going to wind up in foreclosure. And you have to know that there are opportunities out there for you guys. I mean, I want to kind of jump into a couple examples, but Steve, you have an actual example right now. I want to show some written examples, but Steve, you have an actual example.
Yes.
It doesn't have a lot of leverage, if you will.
Right. So the CoOp Marketing program that we're doing, we also run that down in the Panhandle of Florida, of course. And so we came across this house through the marketing that is a subject to, you know, takeover payments. And arguably, there's a little bit of equity in this, and we're going to give the sellers some money as well. Now, they've already moved, and what I found out, though, was they were not living in the house. They actually moved and rented it to, you know, a tenant. And guess what? That tenant's not paying any rent. And in Florida, I guess there's a forbearance program from the governor where no evictions can happen. So guess what? That's an opportunity, because that means that the sellers can't pay their mortgage. So that's the reason they're motivated to sell this. And so now it's up to us to decide, and we have decided that we're going to take this on, because it's a couple thousand to the sellers. The payments are like $1,400 a month. It's a really nice brick, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, takeover payments, ranch in Pensacola. Not much work. We think it's clean it up, but there's a tenant in there, we believe. Now, we think he's maybe doing some activity out of there that is illegal, you know. And the last time our representative went by there, he didn't see anybody there. So he said he thinks that the guy might be in jail. So maybe this situation has solved itself, but we don't know that for sure. But bottom line is, at some point, the governor of Florida is going to open up the situation where people can evict people, because, hey, landlords cannot go on forever without paying their mortgage.
That's right.
It just wouldn't be the right thing to do, to keep a prolonged non-eviction law or ruling or edict or whatever you want to call it in place.
Yeah.
So that's just one tiny little example. So yes, we're stepping in. We're going to pay the payments. We're going to pay the sellers. We're going to accept the deed, and we're going to wait and see what happens, because we already have people that want to buy this house. We went ahead and started marketing it, and
Yeah.
so we marketed it for X amount of down on financing. That's kind of a marketing technique, and yes, we will absolutely do it the way we said we would do it. But what I found, is that a lot of times people want to just go get their own mortgage, and we say that's fine too, however you want to do it.
That's right. What kind of equity was in that deal?
We solid, no thinking equity, 35 to 40,000 equity.
Percentage wise.
I beg your pardon?
Percentage wise.
Percentage, 20%, 15, 20%, something like
So
that.
we basically get it at 80, 85% of current value.
Yeah, and I know where you're going with that. You're going to the carve example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are going to walk away from that deal, and those are the deals that are going to be prevalent over the next few months. Yes, there's still going to be wholesale deals that are available to us, but these deals are going to be all over the place in the coming months. So if you can see this here, this bottom situation, this bottom half there, those are the four situations. And Steve, you just explained, the seller financing option and the lease option, which is, subject to either way right here. Both of these are going to be the same. Seller financing a little different than that, but these are the situations you're going to find yourself in. These are the kinds of deals that you're going to see. And this is what I call the pretty house technique, right? Mm-hmm. Where what Steve just explained was, hey, listen, we're going to go into a situation. It doesn't even matter. There could have been 3% equity in that property. If there is a solution, if there is a way for that house to be sold outside of what that seller is able to consider, what they're able to, or not able in this particular case to see, we can see. We're investors. We understand that there's more to just real estate investing than simply just wholesaling. So we can see the lease option, because we'll take that over and we're going to sell that now to someone who has cash but no credit. Or maybe they have credit, but they just don't have the credit they need to get into a loan right now. But they have cash.
A lot of those people out there right now.
Right, that's right. And right here, this conservative after repair value on the bottom side is what we're looking for. Seller financing, lease options, which are basically, subject to deals. We're going to take the property over, subject to the existing mortgage, and we're going to do something else with it. We're going to sell that property in one way or another to someone who actually wants to live in that property, or we'll rent it out, which we're not that fond of in the single family space. But for those that are fond of those kinds of situations, you can actually do that. Like Steve, on this deal, what is the mortgage?
It's 185, and the PITI is about 1450.
And what's the rent in that area?
I think we could rent that easily for 16 to 1800.
Okay, so here's a situation, guys, where if you do like being single family rental property owners, if you will, and what is the down payment? What do we have to give that woman?
What are we paying the seller? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
We are paying the seller $2,000 down, $2,000.
$2,000 in takeover payments.
That's correct. So we've got $3,500 in it so far.
So if we're going to lease purchase that out, we're going to lease purchase that owner finance, however we tag it, to someone. We're going to probably ask for $10,000. Maybe we get $775. Maybe we get $6, whatever it is, but we're going to ask for 10.
Well, maybe. I mean, that would be a lease purchase, and that's not what I have on Zillow right now.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about options, right?
Okay, got it. Yes, sir.
So maybe someone comes and says, look, I don't have 10, I have 7. And they give us $7,000 down, and they're willing and able to pay $1,800 a month for so many months. Now we have an option there where we can take whatever the down payment is, get our money back, double our money in that particular situation and hand that lease over to the existing owner for them to service and say, hey, we're going to keep all this money and we're just going to give you an extra $200 or $300 a month, right? Or we can keep that property, give them their $2,000, keep the property, and make an additional $400, $350 a month if we wanted to do something like that. So the options there, and that's part of the fast tracking your way to $100,000 a year passively, right? That's a deal that now, I mean, you're making $350 a month, right? In order for you to make $100,000 a year, you have to make roughly $8,333 a month. That's $350 closer to your goal. Well, actually, it's $3,500 and $350 closer to your goal of making passively $100,000 a month. And how many deals like that do you need to do to get that? You need
2.5 a month.
Yeah, you need about 20.
Well, 2.5 a month if you're counting the 4,000 that you're making, or 3,000 that you're making. So, yeah, 2.5 a month.
And there you have it. There's your $100,000 using the carve example.
Now, we've been around the block a few times, and you're giving one example of a way to do this particular property.
Exactly.
There's a bunch of examples. I mean, there's as many ways as you can imagine to do this. And what we're actually doing is we're putting our marketing out there at $25,000 down, and I'm looking for a homeowner that wants to live there. Yeah. That's my very specific way. But that's just a way to do it. It's just another.
Absolutely. I mean, there's however you guys want to do it, you can do it. I mean, there's no there's no right or wrong way if you're following the models, right? You can be as creative as you want to be.
So my example, if somebody came along and said, okay, here's 25,000 and I've got 5,000 in it total, I made 20. I don't care about the 350. How many of those do I have to do to get to my 100,000? One every other month. And I'm at 120, right?
Yeah.
Just another way. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. It's just about being creative. How do you want to get to your financial goal? And then just doing it. These deals are going to be around through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, into the new year, basically. So
these deals were here before coronavirus.
Absolutely.
They're during coronavirus. They're going to be here after we get through all this. They're here all the time,
Right. That's right. Just some things come in abundance during certain situations. And this is one of those situations.
Yes, with 36 million people out of work and correspondingly, the percentage number of properties that goes with, it's going to be an avalanche of opportunity. Get ready.
That's right, because we're going to see a good percentage of those going into foreclosure and being sold in one way or another, I should say. In one way or another, So be ready. Learn these processes. If you don't know them, if you don't know your exit strategies, you're really going to have an issue. I mean, Steve did a wonderful little segment about 8 exit strategies, just 8 in varying situations, all having to do with the carve example, but 8 situations in terms of how you can exit a property, how you can exit a deal. And to get more information about that, shameless plug, realestate360show.com, and you can find out all that information there. But those are the things that you need to know. How do you get out of a deal? Again, I wasted years, Steve, because I only knew one way to do this thing. I left so much money on the table, and it was terrible. But Steve, we really do need to take a break.
Hi, this is Sammy with Sammy Hadid Real Estate Keller Williams. Are you looking for a top producing agent who will look out for your best interests? Top dollar on the sale of your home, a well-negotiated contract, an efficient closing? Please call me at 305-978-4249. I'm more than happy to set up a consultation. I'll put together a proposal for you to net top dollar for your home, what it is that I'm doing to get all my homes sold. Then you can decide what's best for you. Again, I'll do whatever it takes to get your home sold for top dollar, and I promise you that I will protect your equity with my life. 305-978-4249. Sammy Hadid, Hadid.
And we are back for the fourth and final segment of today's show. Jason Myles, how do people find us, and how do they tap in to all this fantastic information we give out every week?
Listen, you guys want to know more, you want to hear more, you want to do more, you have got to go and check out the podcast, the Real Estate 360 Show podcast. What are we up to now? 50 episodes deep? Huh? You got to love it. We're not here because we've got fly-by-night information. We're here because we have real actionable information that you guys can take advantage of, okay? So listen, share, do all those things. Check us out on YouTube. Go to the realestate360show.com and see what events are coming up. See what education platforms are available to you. See what we have for free. See what you can take advantage of. See how you can work with us, whether you're selling a property or buying properties or whatever the situation is. Conley and I pretty much have it sewed up.
Would you do me a favor and do the audience a favor and just tell them what they can get for free, and then tell them what to expect as maybe the next segment, the 30 days to success?
Absolutely. So you're going to get your 4-week action plan for sure for free, right? You obviously get to get a lot of the information that we're sharing here on multiple platforms where we share information to kind of put you on the path. But one of the things that you're definitely going to get, where there's true meat on the bone, if you will, no sizzle, just meat, right?
Yes.
The Success in Your First 30-Day program. Right now, we're giving that away for free. And all you have to do is go to realestate360show.com, look up at the programs. Steve had our guy put a link on there for it, and enjoy the program. There's good information there. It walks you through the 4-week action plan. It walks you through your success team. It walks you through some of the marketing things and organizing your business and tools of the trade. It just walks you through everything that you need to have in place in your first 30 days for you to find success. Can you get a deal with the information that's in there right now? You sure can. You sure can if you utilize the information. Put it to work in your life. Reach out to people like myself and Steve or anyone that you know that's investing in real estate with that information in hand, and you can truly make money in your first 30 days. You will find success. And at very least, you'll be on the path to success inside your first 30 days.
Now that program, the Success in Your First 30 Days, what is that? 3.5 hours of video training, right?
Absolutely. You've got 3.5 hours of training in there. It's about 3 hours and 20 some odd minutes, but we'll just round it up, right? And that's just real actionable information. No fluff. It's not a fluff situation. This is stuff that you can actually put to work in your business today.
And you know what? That information that's in that 3 hours and 20 plus minutes, okay, that is worth way more than you going out and spending $2,000 or $3,000 for one of these 3-day seminars. And we're giving it away for free. We don't normally give this one away for free. We normally charge a nominal fee of $47, I think it is, for that program. But it's brand new. As things are kicking off right now, we want to build our subscriber base. So you have an opportunity to get it for free. Now, it's not going to be free forever. So just take some action. This would be the time, right?
And it's free. Listen, if you could go to the dealership and pick out the car that you want and take it home and drive it for 2 or 3 days for free, just for gas money, you'd probably do that. So take this opportunity to add some value to your business life take it for free. I mean, you're going to have it once you subscribe. It'll be yours forever, and we're never going to charge you for it again. Not you. For those who have downloaded it. So,
Right. And we're not Microsoft. We're not going to ask you, 6 months for a subscription to that thing that you already got for free or paid for. We're not going to do that. So,
no, that's yours, buddy.
yeah.
Yours. So, just take action. Like Steve said, just take action. Believe in what it is you want to do and actually just do it. That's the only way to find success or create success or carve out your piece of the pie, whichever way you'd like to explain that to yourself. Just do it.
We've talked about a lot of different things, and some of the things that we talk about seem complicated, like, oh, you have to do a marketing plan, or you have to do this or that, the other. But, there's opportunities everywhere. And sometimes you don't even know where they are. And you don't have to spend any money. And especially with this success in your first 30 days being for free.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything you need to know and all the stuff that we have out here. I mean, not every single situation you're going to come across will fit into what we've talked about, or what's on the 4-week action plan, or what's in the success in your first 30 days. They're all going to look different, but they're all going to be there for you to decide how you want to structure it. And I'd like to give you an example of one that just came across our desk last week. One of the guys that we bought, I don't know, 6 or 10 houses from over the last couple of years. He's a wholesaler. He's brings us houses and we buy them from him. And so, yes, we buy from wholesalers.
We buy from wholesalers? Us?
Yes.
Down.
Yeah, man. We, sometimes we jump into that daisy chain. We've said that we've been in transactions where there were 7 people in a transaction before. So guess what? We're either the buyers for that, or we're in the middle, or we're one of those 7,
Yep.
So we bought a bunch of houses from this guy, and he comes across and he says, "Hey, I got this house." And I said, "Let me take a look at it." And I look at it and said, "Oh my God." I said it to myself, I said, the numbers don't work on this at all. I mean, but it was about relationship, with him. And he said, I've been out of the business for a little bit. We went into some industrial stuff, he and his partners, and we're coming back, and tell me what's going on. He said, "What am I supposed to do?" He's an experienced investor. He's calling me saying, "What do I do? What does it look like out there?" And so I explained to him what we're doing and how we're doing it. And he said, "Okay, well," I said, "Do you have anything right now?" And he said, "Well, I got this one house." And he sent it over. I'm looking at it and said, "Man, this is a dog." It's like investors are going to look at this and they're going to say, "Why are you sending this to me?" But you know what? I went ahead and I put everything together and I sent it out on our database. And by the way, if you want to get on that and receive properties from us, you can go to the website 833 will sell, WELLSELL.com, and click on our available properties. So that is strictly investment properties, commercial, Florida, Georgia, and single family, and some St. Louis and some Indianapolis and some other things across the country. But so 833 will sell, like we will, WELLSELL.com. By the way, that's our phone number too, 833 will sell. And if you have something to sell, go to 833willbuy.com. And that's our phone number as well, if you want to call that. So, so he brings me this property and I put it out and I put the numbers together and I come up with what is a realistic retail on it. And we send it out on our database. Okay. And we get a few people calling. Myles, you had a few people call and saying, "What are you thinking?" So pretty much. And they said, "Well, we'll offer you this." So, and so we said, "Okay, we know what the target price is. And we also know that the number that we have on our contract from this guy is higher than that." So I said, "Okay, well, how can we make this work?" So I called him up and I said, look, you know, this is a dog. He said, yeah, I know it's a dog. And I know it and everybody else knows it. I said, can we get it for this number so that we can turn around and sell it for that number and move through it and arbitrage it? He said, let me see. And so he made the offer to the owner of this particular property, and he sent me a message back. He said, I think this owner's going to do whatever we need. I said, great. So let's go. We're right now in the middle now. This is real time information. This is what's going on right now. So we don't know the answer to it, is what I'm saying. So Myles, you've got the buyer at our price. And so you're pulling that contract together. And then I'm getting the guy on the other side, the wholesaler, to get the seller's contract. We're going to put that together and do a double closing or do an assignment.
Correct. And again, that's a situation where, as you said, a lot of people would walk away from that deal, or they'll say, oh, it's just a bad deal. You're going to lose your earnest money, or you walk away from it before you lose your earnest money. But it's the renegotiation. It's the teaching moment. It's the realization that all things are possible if you truly just believe that they are possible.
And I will admit, I had not an inkling of how this might have worked out. I really did it for one reason. I put it out there for one reason. It was for the relationship with this guy, because, we've worked together, we respect each other. I said, look, I'm going to put it out there and let's see what happens. And did I think of, we need to go back and renegotiate this to make it work? No, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to get anything done with it. Yeah. But, opportunities arise.
Such is life. Well, listen, if you guys want to hear more of what we have to share with you, which I know you do, you want to make sure that you're checking out the realestate360show.com to look at the podcast. I mean, it's on YouTube. You can see the education. Definitely make sure that you're downloading and subscribing and sharing the podcast. Steve, I really can't wait until people get an opportunity to get into the program and listen to your exit strategies in particular, because truly that's where the rubber meets the road. That's the money shot, if you will. Learning how to do the deal is one thing. How to get out of it is another, because that's where you actually realize the profit.
Yes, and normally, and I'm not suggesting you jump into anything like I did with this property, because you really want to know your exit strategy before you start. That's what we keep talking about. Now I'm saying, hey, I did it anyway.
But sometimes that it plays out that way. You gotta go with the flow. Deals change. We've had it a million times, man.
Most of our deals change, in the middle somewhere or at the end, but it's all for fun. So this is the Real Estate 360 show. We're signing off for this particular show number 50.
That's right. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching, sharing, and working with us. Peace.